guys, it's your boy TG, and yeah, bring it from the bottom. You're locked in to another edition of Goode Got You Entertainment. I'm your host, Marquez Goode, known as TG. Across the room from me, Marcus Ojalayo. Marco Polo is his name. Across the camera later on, Cam with the plan, Cameron Taylor will be coming on. Cheryl will be joining us next week as we concluded all of the concluded classes. But got a lot of things to talk about. I'll let you guys chime in a little bit. I'll let the viewers get some time. We got the NFL draft. We got NBA playoffs. And not only that, we trying to figure out why in the hell none of the HBCU players got drafted out of 259 players. We were talking about Green Bay, and they sure are cutting the cheese. And we won't only talk about that. We talk about James Harden and the boys, and we talk about a lot more. But I'm going to let you guys get in and start chiming in and cutting the cheddar, too. Sit back, buckle up. It's about to be a good ride on Goode Got You Entertainment. But first off, Marcus, how does it feel? We're back here again. We see the draft. Your team, the Ravens, picked up a lot of good stuff. Green Bay picked up, but we don't know what Green Bay's going to do about the quarterback. I got a lot of information coming up very, very soon. But how do you feel?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Feeling a lot good, and we back better than ever.
Well, we're back better than ever. That is right. And I'm giving you guys a little bit more time to start chiming in before we get to conversating. Cam will be coming on with his plan. Hope it's not delusion. But Goode Got Your Entertainment do have a new logo. That'll be coming out very, very soon. There's some legal work being done. And I don't want to publish that until that's done for none of y'all cranberries will try to steal my stuff. But in the same sense, let's get to the conversation. The NFL draft. Boy, oh boy, we've seen a lot of kissing babies and all this.
What a long night.
A long night. And you did get your coffee ready. I even went to sleep. But it was just wings and everything else. But one thing I do want to know is we're talking about not only that, but what was your biggest takeaway of the draft? I mean, we saw them great moments. We saw, I forgot the player's name, but one of the players, he had a moment where his mom, and the most memorable moment I had in the NFL draft is watching this guy that came from a foreign country. His mom gave it his all. Dad even tried, and he promised his mom they would get this moment. Moving from a foreign country to America, and then making her this dream come true, getting that phone call on a national stage with your mom being beside you. I mean, you can't get any better than that. But that was one of my big moments. But what was your big moment you saw in the draft?
One of my big moments that I saw in the draft was the Chicago Bears picking up Justin Fields from Ohio State. As we all know about Justin Fields, he is a talented quarterback. He went up against Trevor Lawrence. We know what he's capable of. And with the Chicago Bears, that just gives them a much better boost, even though they still got Andy Dalton left with via trade. But it does give Justin Fields an opportunity to show what he can do and progress.
Yeah, progression is a must. We got a lot of teams. We got the Jacksonville Jags in the rebuilding. The Jets are currently, they've been in destruction. But
Mac Jones with the Patriots.
With the Patriots, you got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson joining the Jets. 49ers shocking the world and getting Trey Lance and Justin Fields in the Bears. And Green Bay still don't know who their quarterback may be. Speaking about not only that, I'm trying to give a little bit of room before we go into conversation about the HBCU issue inside of this thing in 2021. But another thing that I want to go for is the big buzzing news. Now I take that back. I'm going to step back a little bit. I'm skipping something. And that's the quarterback conversation. We talked about Trevor Lawrence. We talked about Zach Wilson. Talked about Trey Lance. We talked about Justin Fields. We talked about them guys, Mac Jones. All them quarterbacks going in the first round. Also, history has shown to repeat itself. Bill Belichick has signed Mac Jones in the same process he signed Tom Brady. And we know what that led to in that dynasty. But who do you think is the most dangerous quarterback for this rookie contract they're going to get?
I would have to say Trey Lance, even though I think all of the rookie QBs, they're phenomenal. We know what they're capable of. They bring it day in and day out. But I'll have to say Trey Lance. I mean, just looking at Trey Lance and his highlights at North Dakota State, he can do it all, whether it's throwing the football or running with it. And just being able to be part of the 49ers, that gives a much more QB competition, whether it's him or Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever the case may be. It just gives the 49ers an opportunity to see who's going to be their star and their QB1.
You want to know who I think it goes to? I think it goes to the Clemson brother, Trevor Lawrence. I'm very glad. I'm very excited to see Cam and his delusions going to come on here, and I know he's going to talk about Trevor Lawrence. And I know I want to give it to Trevor Lawrence because he's going to Jacksonville. I want to see what they do. They're in rebuilding stage.
Yeah.
They got the running back to Trevor Lawrence in Clemson to go to the addition, and you got Urban.
And I like how you mentioned Trevor Lawrence. I mean, with Trevor Lawrence, it does give them a rebuilding stage, especially with the Jacksonville Jaguars drafting his college teammate from Clemson. So it gives them a chance to even reunite together alongside and just be able to build a lot more chemistry like they did in college now in the professional level.
Now, I do want to talk about outstanding of the quarterback conversation, but one receiver, I know Green Bay got one of them, Clemson product, but I want to talk about Devontae Smith. I want to say that he's going to the Philadelphia Eagles, and boy, oh boy, I mean, that's what they needed, and they went and got it. What's your take on that? That's just amazing.
It is an amazing opportunity with Devontae Smith going to the Philadelphia Eagles. If we talk about reuniting with Trevor Lawrence and this running back from Clemson, now when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, you got Devontae Smith alongside with his teammate in Alabama, Jalen Hurts. So that just gives them a much better rebuilding stage as well and be able to evolve around each other, build chemistry a lot more, and also communication.
Another thing, talking about communication, but we'll talk about Green Bay in a few. One of the another big adjustment to the team, the Falcons, Kyle Pitts. We thought that the Falcons would probably go after Mac Jones, get a replacement for Matt Ryan. But
I was hoping Justin Fields. I mean, since he's from Georgia, so
yeah. I mean, we got a lot to talk about Georgia too because they're changing voter laws, but we'll get to that later. But in the same conversation, I mean, Green Bay finally got all their pieces, and now they lose the biggest piece, Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk about that. I'm trying to let Cam come in here, and if he's watching, to give him his delusion before I keep on going. But who's your winner of the draft this year? Like, who was your top guy that went in there and said, I just blew it out of proportion and got everything I need?
I would have to say my team, not to be biased, but I like how the Baltimore Ravens was able to find key pieces that they really needed. We talked about the Ravens trading Orlando Brown Jr. to the Kansas City Chiefs for 2 first-round draft picks. And I like how the first draft pick, they picked up a tremendous wide receiver in Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. We know what he's capable of. He has good route running. He has speed, and he has good hands to make contested catches. And for him to make contested catches, it allows Lamar Jackson to elevate his passing game a lot more, alongside with Hollywood Brown, alongside with Sammy Watkins, alongside with Devin Duvernay and James Prochet. And it just create a lot of key pieces to the puzzle that this Ravens team needed.
That is right. I would say the winners in this draft. I mean, it was several of them. I like what the Ravens did. Especially if Green Bay did not have the quarterback controversy they have right now. Either we're going Jordan Love or we're going Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers said it's 5% chance he ever even come back in Green Bay. He, at one point of his career, said he wanted to be a 49er. And at one part, he said, I want to retire a Green Bay Packer. And now he's saying, I don't want that at all.
But I think the smart move that I saw with the Green Bay Packers is that y'all picked up a true cornerback in Eric Stokes. When you think about Eric Stokes, he is a lockdown cornerback that y'all Green Bay Packers team truly need. I mean, y'all still have Kevin King. I thought he should have been released, especially that NFC Championship game against the Tampa Bay Bucks. But adding Eric Stokes to the Green Bay Packers team, it creates a lot more competition and it helps y'all secondary a lot alongside with Jair Alexander, who y'all also have. So it just brings key pieces to the puzzle on y'all secondary, and it just allows y'all secondary to elevate a lot more and compete.
Yeah, we do gotta compete, especially with the Bucks. Another winner. They already got 22 players they signed back, and then they added pieces to the puzzle. Another winner. The Patriots went and got what they needed. We talk about another winner. The Jets, they got a piece of their puzzle. Another winner, the Cleveland Browns. They were inside the dog pound, putting people in the dog pound. Another winner, it was the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes. That's another winner. And then I got to tell you, I got to give it to the Bears. That's another winner because they need a damn quarterback and they went and got one. Now you want to tell me this. Now I got to flip the script and we'll go talk about the losers of the draft. And you want to know one of my losers is? The biggest loser of the night, it was my winner, and it turns to a loser. It was the Green Bay Packers. They lost now what they got, their franchise quarterback. They don't even know if he's coming back. We'll talk about that. Another loser. Let's talk about, oh boy, I can't even wait to say, I'm going to let you talk. Who's your loser?
I would say my loser is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though they picked up Najee Harris, the running back that they truly needed, alongside with James Conner being shipped to the Arizona Cardinals, I just feel like they could have progressed even more in the draft and just show that aggressiveness of what they actually needed.
I think I agree with you on that. Another loser of the draft. I mean, there was some. I wouldn't even say there's any more losers. I'm trying to figure it out, but one of my things are I'm looking at is we will talk about in a few minutes. One of our viewers put on there about HBCUs, but there really wasn't too many losers. Everybody kind of won in their own fashion. It was kind of important, but they won in their own piece of the puzzle. Now let's talk about not only that. We got a viewer talking about Justin Fields in the draft, and then we're going to talk about now the HBCU conversation. 259 players get to call some organization in the NFL home after the draft, well, the third round of the draft night. Not only that, we've been talking about HBCUs and how they've been mistreated over the last however many years, decades and decades ago, even before we were quite in the money-making category. But another thing is, I want to see, we got Deion Sanders in Jackson State, and he's been doing his stuff and making his money. But in the same sense, he's been trying to bring the music back. And then you get to the factor of the matter is that you talk about that. Then you talk about all this stuff that we've been going on inside society, as a whole, as an HBCU, and the culture being shifted, the white versus black, the white officer shooting black person or black male or a black female. Then you got all this stuff going on in the world.
It's devastating.
Former president doing what he did to cause an insurrection of the Capitol, and so much stuff going on. And then we have our own separate HBCU combine. Why the hell do we need a separate combine? At the end of the day, put them in the same damn combine.
Exactly.
Let the HBCU kids that are almost as damn sure good as the D1 schools. We got Norfolk State, D1, damn that. But then you want to put them because they're Morley, more calm. Put him over there because it's black versus white thing. Damn that. Put him in the same. What you scared of? You scared that certain agencies going to show out your PWIs? You scared of that? That's what it is. But the main thing right here that I'm seeing, and I don't like, is that out of 259 players, nobody was claimed from an HBCU. And some people say, oh, because HBCU suck. I went to a HBCU. You went to a HBCU. Behind the cameras went to a HBCU. It's a damn shame that we got to go through something like that in 2021. What is it, separate but equal? Are we still there in the system of education? It's sad.
It is sad. And I think part of the reason why there wasn't a lot of players being drafted that came from an HBCU had something to do with COVID-19. As we know, with COVID-19, it has struck a lot of players, a lot of people around the world globally. And with that sense, it was with COVID-19, it gave a lot of players an opportunity to just opt out their season and just strictly not play because they're afraid of their safety and well-being. So I think that also plays a factor of why there wasn't so many players being drafted out of HBCU until undrafted free agency.
And some people, we talk about the draft, and it's not all about the highlights and the hobby. Sometimes you need to go under the radar, get in the door,
and elevate your way
up. And that's what HBCU are known to do. We got to get out the mud.
Exactly.
Deeper than PWIs because of our colors. So sad, but separate but equal still in America today. Let's talk about another thing, and we'll conclude the NFL section of the deal. Is let's conversate about what's going on. The biggest and baddest news buzzing in the NFL, and that's the Green Bay Packers cutting cheese. I mean, they make it, and they are the cheese heads. Don't worry about it.
It went from good cheese to molded cheese.
Yeah, so sad. And if you check me out on WLST and another sports view, you'll see me in my Green Bay Packer gear. Oh yeah, your boy brought it on. It's on and popping. I ain't Green Bay head to toe. But the worst news of it all, Green Bay did all they needed to do in the draft. Hold on, Marcus. Hey, somebody from backstage, show me that damn hat. Give me that hat. Oh, thank you. Oh, but anyways, while I caressed my head in my piece of cheese, and we don't cut cheese in this place. Failed by not closing the deal with Aaron Rodgers. And it's still been a matter of 3 weeks. Aaron Rodgers says this thing's not about the team, it's about the GM. He says the only reason, but one thing is a cowardly move, is Aaron Rodgers has not came out himself. He has not came out and said, I want this to happen. He's let somebody else say, I need to do this. He came through Twitter. He went to a Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby. He didn't do anything else. He didn't come out and speak. He's been mocking the GM inside the group messages. Mm-hmm. And you still yet to not come out and say anything. And now you want the GM out the door. My question to you is, with Green Bay failing him and embarrassing him and disrespecting him, and he's disgruntled, as some sources say. Mm-hmm. Now, my question is, do you think Aaron Rodgers has enough pull to get the GM bounced?
I would say in this stage it's possible, but it will take a lot for the GM to just get bounced out. You don't just have to. You don't really. It's really hard to get a GM that you're not close to or not seeing eye to eye with get bounced out or get shipped out that easily. It takes a lot of hard work. And I do understand where Aaron Rodgers is coming from. If you're not giving him the pieces that he wants or successfully needs, then it's like, what's the point?
Well, I tell you, the point is in Green Bay is a lot of things going on. The GM's not doing much. In the last decade of Aaron Rodgers' career, he won one Super Bowl and been in numerous of NFC championships, winning only 1 out of 7 of his championship appearances, and Tom Brady is one of them.
Mhm.
And now Aaron Rodgers even commented to go to say, "Hey, I will suffer retirement and go be a Jeopardy host." My oh my! But I mean, he looked amazing on the show the other night. He can. They said ever
I
since
mean, he could pull it off.
and they said ever since Alec Trebek, God rest his soul, but Aaron Rodgers has had better ratings than him on one show. Now that don't mean Aaron Rodgers better than Alex Trebek. No, it don't. But one thing I do want to talk about is the fact that now Green Bay kind of said, "Oh, blah blah blah. Rodgers is our guy. He came out the draft. He's our guy." The Green Bay Packers representative said he's our guy, and bingo, one thing happened today. Breaking news out of Green Bay: Aaron Rodgers has told him he will not return still. Their contract was supposed to be negotiated. He was supposed to be the highest paid quarterback over Patrick Mahomes at $35.5 million. But indeed, the Green Bay Packers have now, in fact, enacted their rule book, and they are bringing in QBs and OTAs. They have decided that they're going to just say, "We know and we think Rodgers is our guy, but we're going to bring quarterbacks. So why the hell you ain't going to draft and get one?" I mean, you got Jordan Love, whoever the hell that was to be. I still don't know where my Aaron Rodgers jersey is at. Somebody found it. There's a reward. I don't know how much, but there's a reward. But
just hearing that, it just makes me like think that by the Green Bay Packers bringing in QBs, not only does it create competition, but I was just thinking it could be a smoke screen that could try to convince Rodgers to be like, "Hey, I'm thinking about leaving, but I really want to stay."
Yeah,
try to work things out.
And that's one of the things that I look at Green Bay and I go, "Y'all got a successful QB in Aaron Rodgers, and he about to slip between your fingertips, and you better read through the lines in the same sense." But there goes for Green Bay. But that concludes the NFL segment. But let's get on to the NBA draft, and let's talk about how James Harden has confirmed and has confidence that he'll be back before the playoffs. Now, in the same sense, folks, James Harden's returning. The Nets are, well, shockingly got injured in enough time. But the Lakers, with LeBron, AD, re-aggravating these injuries and people going out left and right, worse than Goode. But do you think the Lakers are going to be relevant in the playoffs?
I would say yes. I mean, just hearing LeBron and other key stars being injured, I feel like it's motivating themselves to get ready for the playoffs. I just feel like by them resting and rehabbing that injury, I feel like those players are confident enough to get back to the playoffs and also try to win themselves another championship back to back.
They will try that. The New York Knicks, they got the same record as the Lakers right now.
They on the roll.
They're on the roll, and we'll let Stephen A. keep up with that. But let's talk about LaMelo Ball. The Ball brothers played each other a few nights ago. I think in Jack last night. The both of ball worlds, they called it. Now, do you think LaMelo is putting the Hornets back on track?
I would say yes, but slightly. I mean, I know he's came back from the wrist injury, but just seeing how he progressed after coming back from that injury, it was almost like he wasn't injured at all, and we just seen him elevate his game and progress each and every step of the way. So I feel like he has put the Charlotte Hornets back on track just a slight teeny bit.
I think so too. Now the Bucks, Milwaukee, they have been climbing the races, roller coaster ride all year long. Now do you think the Bucks will be a threat coming into the playoff?
It would all depends on like their stage and really just their game. I mean, it's like you said, it's been a roller coaster for them all season long. They win games, they lose games. They have healthy players, they don't have healthy players. It's just a mixture of continuous things. Uh, Hopefully, they try to get this team back together and try to regroup and have a balance.
Now, one last question. One of our viewers were bringing up, our viewers are quite active tonight, but let's talk about Chris Paul and the Suns. These guys are on fire.
I feel like they're sleepers.
And Chris Paul needs a ring
Yes.
to leave the league. He just shouldn't exit the league. I consider him he's another veteran player that we'll see for a long time, Hall of Famer.
Underrated.
Underrated for sure. But we got a lot of things to cover in basketball. But I do want to say, we next week that concludes the NBA. But next week we have not only Cheryl Green with the capital E, she'll be back. Cam with the plan, he'll be back. And we have in the next couple weeks we have Jesse Henninger back with Front Row Sports. I'm representative of Front Row Sports also. Got some great news. We signed Billy back. He's the Bill Belichick of the random football area. They put that out. But one thing I want to talk about before we conclude tonight, and it's what you got football, you got basketball, you got sports. And without that, the world will kind of fell apart. We couldn't come together for something.
It's all entertainment.
But and the laws are changing around sports. We see what the Major League Baseball has did. And one thing they did, the state of Georgia and Florida are, after this election happened and the insurrection of the Capitol building, now Georgia and Florida have came together under their governors and laws and changed new voter suppression laws. These laws make it tougher to get the right to vote, tougher to go out and vote, tougher to do anything to vote, the right to vote. And it hurts the population of African Americans. And guess what? One party gets upset because they simply lost. It's sad. But the MLB has took a stance and they have moved all their major events, especially their top events. The All-Star game has been moved out of Atlanta. Now, Florida just coming up, showing that they are going to change suppression laws. But do you think with this stuff going on, trying to change the way people get the right to vote, now you see what the NBA did with their Black Lives Matter movement. You see what they did and said they don't even want to play. But now to the fact Florida is changing too. Do you think the MLB's move that they made a couple weeks ago saying we don't want no major events, no World Series, no nothing? Do you think other teams like NFL teams should move their major events out of them cities that change the laws to hurt the vote of others?
I get what they're saying, but I just feel like they shouldn't. I mean, standing up for a cause and just making sure everybody has the right to vote is extremely important. Like we've seen years, like centuries, that women itself didn't have a chance to right to vote until years prior. So it does help them and it helps others elevate a change in a cause to like have their own voice and just be able to vote equally and peacefully.
For sure. But that's one of the things talked about. That includes NFL, NBA, baseball's ramping up. We see the Yankees and the Astros doing what they got to do. We do have Cam's corner is going to come up, and I'll let him get second. I want to at least close out with Cam's corner, and ask him a few questions before we wrap it up. He's kind of chiming in now, getting things set. But who do you think? I'm gonna go back in this time right now talking about the NFL.
Okay.
Who do you think will be the biggest upset? Now, not upset like, oh, goody goody, they win. Well, who will be the worst like team that regress that goes down? Like you think like, oh, we got all these teams. We got Trey Lance. We got all this Trey. And who do you think will be the worst team
The worst team, like
overall in the NFL?
It's kind of tough to say. Like you got certain teams that was bad. They elevating. They trying to progress. But if I had to choose, I'll probably say
It's deep.
it is deep.
It's a lot of good teams out right now. I mean, even the little rebuilding teams are coming up.
I would say the New Orleans Saints.
They would. I will like to see what happens with them.
I just want to like. I'm just eager to see like what they going to do with the QB position. Like as we all wanted to know with Jameis Winston and you got Taysom Hill. I really want to see like how well they can do with Drew Brees retiring. I want to see how well they can progress in their own manner and try to win games alone.
and then you talk about bringing Cam in now. He should be coming in live any moment.
Question. Question. Can I answer
Um,
that question, please?
well, go ahead, Cam. What you got?
You said who do I think is the best team will have a
Not
really good season?
who's going to be that like the not only the best team, but who's going to be that team that like digress, if I may. Like we have teams that like come in hot and everybody's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they just like drop off the cliff. You wanna know who mine is, kid? You wanna honestly know why I let you go?
The Green Bay
Oh,
Packers. The
you
Green Bay Slackers.
the damn Dallas Cowboys. They
Here we go.
get me every
Here we
year.
go.
It's the Cowboys. Oh, and hey, Cam, I got the mug. It's coming back because Dallas sucks. They gonna remain in. They're Super Bowl bound every year. Guess what they do? They let their good old owner sit up there and shake his head, and you let your fans just sit in stands and just go And Cam, you want to know something else? I can't wait till your uncle come on here with his Dallas Cowboys stuff, and I can't wait to see that game and see his face just go. I don't know. That's happening. I want to know one thing. Who is your team that obviously will digress? I mean, you said Green Bay. Honestly, if they don't have Aaron Rodgers returning, they may well call quit the whole season.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, my shocker team. This is my dark horse for next year. You heard it first on Goode Got You Entertainment. All right, the Indianapolis Colts. With the Colts adding what's his name? Oh yeah, Carson Wentz. I'm telling y'all right now, with that offensive line stout the way they are, with the running backs that the Colts have, with the receiving core that the Colts have, Carson Wentz is in the correct position to have a successful season. And when I say successful, y'all, I'm thinking maybe a 10-win season. It may be lofty right now. I haven't seen their schedule quite yet. But looking at the division itself, the Jaguars, the Texans, and who else? The Titans. I see them maybe going 4-2, maybe 5-1, to be honest with you. So the Colts, and depending on if Aaron Rodgers comes back, if he doesn't come back, Green Bay will regress completely. But honestly, I think the Patriots will do even worse than what they did last year. It's going to be a stretch, but I believe that I don't think that Bill Belichick really believes in Cam Newton because they drafted Mac Jones in the first round. So I mean, I think Belichick's kind of like a tough situation. Do you still go with Cam, who struggled a lot last year, not with many weapons, or do you give the rookie an opportunity to actually do something and see what he can possibly do with some of the weapons that you're bringing back that didn't play the previous year? So it's going to be a real iffy season for both teams that I named, the Colts and the Patriots.
We will definitely see another thing. We talked about most of the things tonight, but I do want to recap to get your input on what's going on around the league and all this stuff. But a couple things we talk about recap on to get Cam's input on is how do you feel about, like we talked, 259 players in the draft. None of them want to be represented by an HBCU. What's your take on that?
I personally believe that HBCUs don't get the exposure that they deserve. I feel like there is a plethora of talent that is in the HBCU community, but because they don't have these big networks like ESPN, not the smaller ESPNs, but the bigger ESPNs like ESPN, two, ESPN Plus, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They don't have these big connections. Personally, I would love to see like the cable system, the cable channels and whatnot, cable company. I'm sorry, to make like an HBCU channel strictly for sports, so that way you will never miss a sporting event from an HBCU team, no matter what the sport is. Of course, you're not going to see every game being played, but at least they get that opportunity to be seen more often than rather, oh, well, Jackson State's playing, Norfolk State, but the only reason we're going to put Jackson State on television is because Deion Sanders is the head coach. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like there is plenty of talent at HBCUs, but there isn't enough, I guess, networking nor marketing for that to happen. But I feel like a lot of these teams have slept on some of these players. Like at some point, you have to begin taking risks on players because really, that's how the draft is. Like you're taking a risk on a player who haven't proven themselves at the NFL level quite yet. They've shown that in college, yes, they can play at the collegiate level, but NFL wise, none of these players, no matter if you're drafted number one or you're Mr. Irrelevant, none of these players have actually proven themselves NFL wise. So I really feel like a lot of these teams have slept on HBCU talent.
You want to know one thing I think?
What's that?
Not only does HBCUs not get enough televised games, but you want to know something? We talk about, and Cam, I agree with you, and I agree with me and Marcus talked earlier on the show. And one thing I feel that's the problem is that HBCUs are so stuck in their old ways that when change is arriving, they say, no, the board of trustees got it. I'm sorry, but they lived in a segregated world. Let the segregation go and get some people in here and get some television. Not only that, we have options that can HBCU game day. Yeah, I hope they see this. I am calling them out. I'm an HBCU graduate. I went to an HBCU as an undergrad, both ways at Virginia State University. And I am pissed. It's not even nothing else to saying upset. It's the fact that they sit there and they call themselves the channel for game day activity, but I don't see a damn representative at any game. They go to Bowie. Oh, whoop-de-damn dude. You go to the big schools. Howard. You go to the big schools in Jackson State. I understand.
North Carolina A&T.
But damn that. Go to the D2. Go to Norfolk State of D1 and get some games. Not only that, you can spread this stuff out. In communication degrees, which every HBCU has,
is network.
You can. It's not even. You ain't have to even worry about the network part. It's a part of it. But the part is, it has to be to cheer people in this university. We have a whole communication department. They want to do something, damn it, put them on the field, get some of them cameras I got in the back room, hook it up to a channel, pay a couple thousands of $1 million. You got it. Sitting on it for years because you want to pay your people billions of dollars, but they're going to some organ. You're not. And just pay the right people. Internship, Cam. This is hands-on internship program. Contact HBCU game day. Tell them to make a pamphlet or a template and show them how to broadcast a game properly. That's what we're failing in the HBCU. Cam, I'm even calling my own Virginia State University out on this. We have a whole communication department. Back in the day, they used to do this. They used to sell out the whole entire Rogers Stadium. I have sources at the university that's been there for a long time, and they used to see that whole entire bowl full. The yard, the hillside. People used to be on the fences to go to a Union and State game, and you don't even see no damn body. But everybody blamed COVID. So, yes, I'm calling out VSU. I would hope they see that. And the president of VSU is supposed to come on this show very soon. Dr. Abdullah. He's coming on this show, and he's a really good person. He speaks out about everything. And he's up for change. But when you have the president of the university that wants to change, but then his board of trustees are too old and they don't want to do nothing correctly, then you have, that's why HBCUs don't get televised. You got to get a VCR to see what the heck is going on. Because you got to look at a Union game from back in the day. Because everybody don't want to come in a system and actually do something until a guy like Dion comes up and everybody, oh, we need to get a coach. You don't need an expensive coach. VSU's Coach Barlow, he played in the league. You don't have to get a coach that has the largest of the names. Get somebody that just knows how to network. Exactly. Like Cam said, the only reason they got Jackson State televised because of Dion. Everybody wants to see Dion. You got the whole state trooper department running on the field because they scared somebody will come get them. It's sad. And then I go to an HBCU. We're all HBCU graduates. Cam, you graduated from Rapper. Understand, on the HBCU side, it's not only, as I digress to say from earlier, it's not only, it's their fault, but it's our school's fault because they have the same amount of resources. The ADs and all that stuff can go out there, and the sports information director, they can get this stuff. If you have a nerve to have a radio station on your campus, you can have a television set on your campus, but you have to be open to talking to somebody. If you don't say nothing, you don't get fed. And that's what HBCUs are lacking at. It's sad. There's a lot of students, including myself. The system of VSU failed was that year. They never brought nobody live on camera. You can hear me through the radio system because I was with John Emmett on 91.3, but you failed because you didn't want to broadcast somebody. It's sad. Holly is disappointing. But another thing, Cam, I want to talk about before I give it over to you in Cam's corner is me and Marcus had talked about this. I want to get your opinion on it. Georgia and Florida has now changed voter suppression laws around their state. Other states are now doing it, and they have already did it, making it harder to vote. But one thing is, do you agree, and do you think everybody else should follow what the MLB did to states that do that? Just because you get a little hot and upset and disgruntled about one election, you want to change laws. The Democrats got upset about Donald Trump. They didn't change laws. They just bite the bullet and came back years later. Now the Republicans, on the other hand, now they've been upset. Now they're ready to change everything in the book of Congress because one person lost. And he got his social media strip. And you shut your mouth, you might have learned something, but you don't know how to just zip it up sometimes. But Cam, do you think the MLB should follow? I mean, should everybody follow their footsteps? You know what the NBA. In the NBA, and they deal with their campaign. We know what LeBron's doing. Sometimes he speaks a little bit too much. But do you think that everybody should follow MLB? Take all their major sports away from them states that want to kind of put restrictions on voting. Like, just if you get upset with one thing, you don't just leave the room and come back. Don't change the law of the room.
I mean, it's kind of hard to really speak on that because I don't really dib and dab when it comes to like the political side of things. But I do think that it's unfair Realistically speaking, I mean, you got upset that your candidate didn't become the president, but that doesn't mean you sit there and change all types of laws. That's not right. I don't think that's right at all. I mean, you can't. I don't know. It's weird because I just didn't think that something like that would actually happen because you got upset that your candidate didn't win the election. Like that's really weird to me.
And before I turn it over, guys, I want to see what you guys say about in Cam's corner. I mean, Cam, you see, I finally got my mug. They found it. I can't give a reward out. I ain't found my Aaron Rodgers jersey yet. I don't know where that thing went to. I guess it disappeared in perfect timing.
Or seeing ghosts like Sam Donald.
Yeah. But Cam, can you see that?
What is it?
It said the Dallas Cowboys suck. Look. Cowboys suck. You see it? Yeah. It's about time. Because they want to draft their slot, and Jerry Jones want to get up there. He don't even know what he's saying. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys suck. And wait, that's just a rough draft of what's going to happen in the season. But I'm excited. Ooh, it's going to blow up. I can't wait till week 1. I don't even care about preseason, kid, but I'm going to give them my all in the preseason. Cowboys, y'all better win every game. Because I'm on y'all for the preseason. I don't care. TC coming. Y'all been on my inbox. Your uncle come with his delusion. I think it runs in your family. I think it just runs in your family, all over your family. I just don't understand it. I mean, I'm still good with y'all, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's something in the food. The secret sauces you be cooking, I think it's something in there. And it's just delusion. It's delusional sauce. And you just shake it all over everywhere. It's like beating it around. Just shake it all over everywhere. Salt, pepper, delusion. And it's just crazy. But it's delusion. I'm gonna stick a piece of paper next week and say delusion. And it's gonna be right in the background. That should go over top of my logo. I just thought about it. It's just delusion. I'm just done. Delusion. I'm gonna get a shirt with delusion on it. Delusional.
With your face doing this.
Take them in my mouth, delusion.
Are you finished, sir? Is your rant over?
I think I'm gonna turn it over,
Oh
and
my
I'm gonna
gosh.
put you best. And I guess I'll switch it to Cam's corner and figure out what you got to say. And I should put delusion's corner and
There we
just
go.
Christ.
All I'm saying is when it comes to NBA playoffs, which team in the East is going to beat Brooklyn in the 7-game series? What team will win 4 games and beat a fully healthy Brooklyn Nets team? I'll wait. It won't be the Celtics. It won't be the Bucks. It won't be the 76ers. I mean, who else is there? It's just Brooklyn right now, okay? Then we go out west. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the Lakers. I'm waiting for the Nuggets. I'm waiting for your trash Clippers. It doesn't matter. It's easy. Brooklyn
Not you in
in 5.
the corner and
Brooklyn
hey.
in 5.
No, and that's delusional Cam's corner because you want to know something else. He's talking about the Nets, and they don't even know if James Harden's going to be back before. He said, I think. Anybody can think, but the medical test said no.
James Harden just said he's coming back before the playoffs. I'm confused. He just said I will be back before the playoffs. So guess what? While he's getting healthy, because we all know right now he is injured right now. He can't fully participate in practice without an ailment right now. So while he is getting healthy, he is just progressing towards his return. And we all know what happens when we get the 3-headed monster back on the court. Who guarding Kyrie? Who guarding James Harden? Who guarding KD? I don't get it.
Who is it? Everybody.
I don't get it. The thing is, Blake Griffin went to Brooklyn. He found his legs. That man, Blake Griffin, hadn't dunked since like 2017. That man, he came to Brooklyn.
I'm just saying, Cam. You talking about the Nets? The Nets not even 100%. They don't even know they can be 100% at the first beginning of the season. Everybody like next. Then everybody like Knicks. Next thing you know, we Lakers show back on. And I don't know.
Time out. Don't disrespect the Knicks. Everyone needs to just appreciate what's going on in Madison Square Garden right now. We're not saying that the Knicks are going to win a championship anytime soon, but it is very exciting, and it's a very good thing for basketball for the Knicks to actually be playing above the standard that they've been playing for the past 7-8 years. Like, they clinched a playoff spot for the first time since 2013. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Like, it's great to see, like, basketball is legitimately exciting when the Lakers, the Boston Celtics, and the New York Knicks are all playing well. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. One other thing I want to talk about before we cut the show is not only Russell Westbrook, talk about Carmelo. Two players,
Yes, sir.
two
Hall of Famer.
future Hall of Famers, I would believe so. Or Hall of Fame. Carmelo should already be in there, but about them guys, they've been out the loop for a while, and now they just like the vintage Carmelo just comes out of nowhere, start pop blocking and dropping in the middle of the court.
Carmelo just needs to get a ring.
Yeah. But some of them great players.
A lot of great players don't have rings. A lot of Hall of Famers don't have rings. So, I mean, when we come to that discussion of who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, you can't really go by rings. You have to go by, like, stats. I mean, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So you have to go from what he did through college to the pros, and also what he did for the Olympic team, honestly. So, I mean, with what, three gold medals plus a national championship at Syracuse, plus being 10th all time and having scoring titles, like, all-star appearances, all NBA all teams, like, I don't understand, like, why people hate on Melo so much. Like, just accept it. Like, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame eventually. I'm not saying he's first ballot. I'm not saying he's second ballot. I don't really care when he gets in. I'm just going to be there when he gets inducted. That's it. It's that simple.
I followed Carmelo from the Nuggets. I remember my dad bought me and him a jersey, and the jersey was like 5 times my size. I don't even know. Look, that's when the era when the big and tall shirts were out, and Soldier Boy was cranking that and all that stuff. So I got a jersey. Even to the day, Cam, I don't know why my dad bought me that 5X. Until today, it still goes down to my knees. I was like, what?
That was the and one day.
That it was. And so that's the stuff you talk about is like Carmelo from the Nuggets to, well, he's a lot of places, but the Knicks where we knew Carmelo. I even had the shoes. I had the blue and the orange Jordans that came. I can't forget what the name. They should just call
Melo 1.5.
Okay, they should just call them Mellows. Like that's what they. When they come out with that conversation, LaMelo Ball versus Carmelo. Damn that, scratch that. I understand LaMelo's good, but Carmelo, Melo.
That's Melo.
That's Melo. I'm tired of the whole comparisons keep coming up like they do with. We're not gonna get in the conversation.
LeBron and Jordan.
LeBron and Jordan, like 2 different eras. I hate when they try to say, well, I know I'm not taking none from Tom Brady. I'm just going around sports. They try to bring the conversation, Jordan or Tom, who's the better. At the end of the day, if you strip them of their Super Bowl titles, say they played them games and they were just regular season games, who did the most to put their team in a positive light to say we would have won the game?
Or it's like comparisons that you hear with Brady and Peyton Manning. If it wasn't for the rings, who had the better stats?
You got to talk about a bunch of, and that's what Cam was getting to. Like, it's like you talk about all these players. You got Eli. If you want to talk about stuff like that, you got Eli. Cam, I'm going to give it to you. It's Eli. You got Aaron Rodgers. You take all the rings from all them guys and Drew Brees and put them all in the room, and you say, I got 2 minutes on the clock. I got to go from the one. Say you got dipped into one, and you got to go get a touchdown in 2 minutes. Who are you going to get? And everybody goes, oh, well, we got to count Super Bowl. That ain't got nothing to do about it. You won a Super Bowl in '98. Don't got nothing to do about 2020. It ain't going to do nothing. It ain't going to help. You put a resume. I mean, that's the best thing you can do. And they don't talk about the Trailblazers like not the team, but they don't talk about like Carmelo, Russ, them guys. Like, if they had a team like everybody else, like Golden State, hell, everybody go win it. You had a dynasty like the Patriots, everybody go get it. You gonna have a dynasty like Jordan, everybody go get it. I gotta give credit to Jordan though, because he played in a rough time. Yeah, people don't want to give him that credit, like, oh, he didn't go through there and get elbow right in the mouth, and now you touch LeBron James. It's a flagrant 3. You didn't even know a 3 was in the books, did you? They gave you flagrant 18. You didn't even know it. You got sent home for a whole week. And it's sad, but they talk about LeBron, the best player. Because everywhere he goes, the moving truck.
And it's just like the NFL. Like back in the day, everybody, when they was hitting, they was hitting. Nowadays, it's like once you get hit, unnecessary roughness.
Yeah.
Personal foul, 15 yards, automatic first down.
And talk about only that, the games of like championships, Cam. If you put not championships, the Pro Bowl and the All-Star game. We know back in time, Lawrence Taylor, Giants. We talk about that and how back in that time, the Pro Bowl was not like, oh, go kick field goals and run through guys with no pads. So it was coming to show that we the guys, we the boys. And if you get us together on one team, it's going to be bang.
It was raw.
Now it's about kicking field goals in between skinny field goal posts. I don't know. I can take an Instagram picture in that post.
Nowadays, just playing Madden.
Yeah, so sad. So sad. But Cam, anyways, do you have anything more to say from Cam's delusional square in Town Square?
Wow, the square. Jeez. No, I do not. I appreciate you guys. Per usual, I'm glad that we can keep doing this on a weekly basis. I just want everyone to just remember to be thankful for what you have. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Always think positively. Remember, positive things go up, positive things come down. Always be optimistic about everything that you're going through and think toward the future. The storm is never over. Trust me, believe that. But once you make it through, it's a beautiful thing, people.
Cam, I do gotta say one thing. You said positive things go up, positive things go down. You shoot a straight bullet in the air, bad things come down. But I'll just say, I have to.
Okay, devil's advocate. Okay.
But at the end of the day, when you positive, just read my shirt. Come with good intentions.
Mine's don't say nothing. It just said go get it.
Just like about your Packers, they say nothing.
Giants. So what's the difference? Everything around you delusional. Delusional Nets. It don't say Brooklyn Nets. Delusional Nets. But I believe you with a quote. One of mine. It's a tongue twister, but it said don't change your character because of the situation that you're in, but change the situation with your character. So it's one of those things that don't let the people change you. You change the people, because it could be a lot of people in the room going, oh no, let's kill him, and you like, no guys, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Just give me a moment, and you just gotta sometimes do what you gotta do. And right now in the world where we're going through so much. I talked to my grandmother on the phone, and it's just like you're going through so much, and it's not just our generation that's seeing it. It's their generation seeing it. And then I'm fortunate enough to have a great grandmother that's in her late 90s, and she's having to sit back and see that we're going through the same damn thing just a different day when she was a young kid and adult.
And it's just like what our old professor, Dr. Johnson, was saying. There's nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself.
It do. People act like it don't, but right now we gotta live in the moment. The people that we have here, like Cam said, before I put them into the gunshot logo. But the thing, like Cam said, you gotta be happy in the moment. You gotta be like a sponge and absorb everything. And if you're fortunate enough to have a grandparent that's still here, you have a fortunate enough to have an older parent that's still here, regardless of the subject, if they're sickly, however, talk to them, get to learn from them, because one day that information may go down the road with you. And don't ignore them, because they've been here all this time. They know how to survive. That's one thing they can't say. You know nothing else. I know how to survive. My grandpa always tell me that. You may be younger, but I forgot more than you ever learned. Cam, you know you done heard that in your time. You got more than I have learned. And we argue with them, and we like, okay, you might be right. But it's just part of time will only tell our story. We just have to just live in the moment. You got to think about also the future, but you got to love one another. If it's a friend, and not only that, right now coming still into COVID, you got to just talk to people. Me and Cam talk every day. I talk to you guys every day. But you never know. Anybody put a smile on. I can put a smile on now. The camera's cut off, and I'm deeply sad. Cam can put a smile on now and cut the camera off and cry. I don't know unless we talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But people have to open up their phone calls, stop saying they're busy. You're sitting at home. Come on, you're not that busy. After 5 o'clock, everybody's at home. Come on, pick up the phone for at least 5 minutes because somebody may need it. But then when you see that RIP post, or you see that suicidal telephone number, please call, it's too late. Because you didn't call that person. You didn't open your eyes up. You didn't open your ears up. You didn't open your heart up to listen and conversate just for that person to tell you. And if he say, don't tell nobody else, damn it, don't tell nobody else. Let him tell you and he'll tell the world. But I had to do that because I know a lot of people going through a lot of nitty-gritty stuff right now. And a lot of people look happy on the outside, but the inside, they ready to cry. You turn on gospel songs or some preaching, they'll cry because they're going through so much. And people have to be willing to just simply sit back and just listen. That's the whole entire thing of this. Yeah, even though I talk a lot, but and Cam knew I talk a lot because I call Cam and got a 3-hour conversation. And baby girl goes, oh, well, I guess y'all have a 3-hour conversation. That's the point of being a friend. If you're not a friend, if you can't call somebody and talk to them for 4 hours. And without saying, I got to go, unless he do got to go, I got to go. Both understand. We call each other right back after whatever happens. But you got to be able to do what you got to do. But that concludes MLB, NFL, NBA, hell, hockey, everything. Y'all know what it is. That's Cam Delusional's Corner. Cameron Taylor sitting across the screen beside me. Marcus Ojalayo, Marco Polo saying, I'm your host, Marquez Goode, TG on the move. Tuesday night, 7:30, another Sports View. I'll be there. And I'll probably bring my delusion too. I'll be there for sure. And Cheryl Green will be here next week with the capital E. I'm saying good night. We saying be blessed. Save the rest, guys. We're out. See you guys.